good evening, hockey fans, and welcome to the Bree Cupoletti Arena, the Miners Memorial Building, Virginia, for tonight's My 9 sports coverage of high school hockey. Tonight, the Virginia Blue Devils and the Hibbing Blue Jackets. Hello again, everyone, along with the entire Mesabi Community Television production crew. I'm joined tonight with Reed Larson, who's back here helping. I'm Bob Cohn. Hibbing and Virginia, you throw out the records. These teams go back a long, long time. There's no love between these kids. They grow up playing against each other when they're just little ice mites, and here they are now as high school varsity players. And Justin Tomlin, the head coach of Hibbing, and Cale Finstead, the head coach of the Blue Devils. Reed?
Yeah, it's going to be a fun night here tonight to watch the Blue Devils and the Blue Jackets battle it out for the opportunity to get themselves some momentum going into sections. We already had the conversation with both coaches. We'll get their feelings on it when we get a chance to talk about in their interviews about the seeding meeting, which already took place this morning. Virginia MIB seated in Section 7A at number 6, and Hibbing Chisholm seated at number 8. We're going to get some passionate feelings from those guys. Your guess is as good as mine as to why that seeding took place that early, with some really big games going on this week. Tonight, this game, as well as Virginia meeting on Thursday night against Greenway. I'm at a loss. Has that ever happened?
I've never heard of something like that. With 2 conference games left, Hibbing tonight, if Hibbing wins the game tonight over Virginia, they could claim maybe that number 6 spot. If Virginia wins tonight and beats Greenway Thursday night, maybe they could claim the number 5 spot. So a lot of things could be changing. That's what I just don't understand, how they could have a seeding meeting before they even have the season completed.
Well, you know, we've done it in the past here. When I was coaching at Virginia, we've done it where the seed has taken place on Wednesday of this week. And that seemed like it was too early. There was always a game played on Thursday. There was always somebody playing a game that was important on Friday. Why wouldn't you have the seeding meeting on Friday? It doesn't make any sense to me. For whatever reason, it took place that way, and I'm sure people will hear about it, as there's some pretty passionate coaches about the decision to have that early. It makes games like these not as relevant as they should be. Of course, you're playing for pride in your program. You're playing for your school, your community, your family. You got parents' nights coming up. You're playing for those. But you want to be playing for things like the chance to host a home game. And neither of these 2 teams are going to host a home game unless the miracle would have happened here in the next couple of days. But, you can look at this game as being looking into what kind of momentum you can get into playoffs, and that's what we'll hear from these coaches, as well as we're going to take this as a pride game and as a game for us to utilize some momentum to be ready to be playing our best hockey next week.
These teams played November 29th. It was played at the Hibbing Memorial Arena, and Virginia was victorious that night by a score of 3-1. In the junior varsity game, Hibbing wins the first half of this doubleheader with a 5-3 victory over the Blue Devils. Virginia comes in 6 wins, 15 losses, 2 ties on the season. They're averaging just over 2 goals a game. They're giving up 4.8. Meanwhile, the Hibbing Blue Jackets are 4-20 on the season. They're averaging just under 2 goals a game. They're giving up 4.6 goals per game. This is the final regular season game for Hibbing. The last couple games they played, last Thursday night, they were over at the in Eveleth to take on the Golden Bears at the Hippodrome. They beat Eveleth Gilbert 5-4 in overtime. Then Saturday they went to St. Paul, and St. Paul Johnson was victorious by 6-3. Meanwhile, the Blue Devils had an important game last Friday night. They went to Proctor. They beat Proctor 5-1, and they will play on Thursday night their last regular season game right here, and that'll be Parents' Night. Our next telecast after tonight will be next Thursday night. We'll be going over to your hometown, the IRA Civic Center. It'll be Hermantown in Grand Rapids to close out My 9 sports coverage of high school hockey. They're introducing the starters right now. Starting in the nets tonight for Virginia will be Ian Kangas. Starting in the nets tonight for Hibbing will be the foreign exchange student from the Czech Republic, Vitek Vozdecki, and we saw him earlier this year, and he's a pretty good goaltender, and I expect a pretty interesting hockey game tonight. Now, ladies and gentlemen, will you please enjoy the playing, or I should say the singing of our national anthem. It'll be Cole Howard, former VHS student, singing. Joe Howard on the singing of our national anthem, former VHS student.
Former VHS student and former player. A couple of years back, I believe it was my last year here at Virginia. He was a senior, hadn't played all the way through, and then came up and played his senior year, got some time on the JV, played 1 year. For me, I think he played when he was really young and then kind of quit for quite a few years, but came back a senior year. Awesome kid to have around. He's really talented actor and obviously a talented singer.
Hibbing in their road navy blue uniforms. Virginia in their home whites uniforms. Second to our last regular telecast right here on My 9 Sports. Hibbing in Virginia tonight. Hermantown in Grand Rapids on Thursday night.
Well, this should be a good one. I'm looking forward to puck drop on this one. Always fun with this rivalry, regardless of the records, regardless of ability. There's always passion behind the jerseys of these two teams when they face off against each other. It's always fun to watch the Blue Jackets at the minors. A lot of years there where the Blue Jackets were better talent-wise than we were when we were playing, but we always gave them the game. Sometimes we beat them when we shouldn't, and sometimes we lost when we should have won.
Just underway, puck is picked up by Trevor Lehman. He'll take it in behind his net. Up to Ethan Lund. Back to Lehman. Now Sanborn will put it in the Virginia end. Blue Devils quickly come out. Here comes Ryan Scherf back, 1-on-4. Puck goes to the corner. Brendan Peterson now comes in. Now Scherf tries to control it. Here's Peterson with the puck. Back to Scherf, a quick shot. And Vozdecki with his first save in tonight's telecast. Right out front, the puck is deflected. And Vozdecki will hold on to the puck, cover up, and get a face-off.
What interesting first shift for the Blue Devils as they sat back in a neutral zone trap as they broke the puck out. You see a 1-2-2, a really high passive 1-2-2 in the neutral zone. One forechecker, four guys standing 2-2 in the neutral zone. Turn the puck over just like it's supposed to do. Down and get some chances. Good job by the Devils.
Carlson will keep it in for Virginia. This is Drew Cabina. Up to Casey Kemp. Jumps out of the blue line and is fired back in by Tyler Lamourier of the Blue Devils. Nemnitz could not keep it in. Now the race is on after the puck. And what do we have? Icing.
Always fun to be back in this building, Bob. The Bree is not going to be here for much longer. They're building an arena right next to us in the parking lot. They're going to be tearing this building down once they're completed with that one. Right in time, likely, for the start of the new school and the co-op.
I'm curious to know what they'll call this arena once they build a new one.
It'll be interesting to see. You know, typically nowadays they're going with the possibility of naming it after donations, and that tends to be the trend rather than naming it after people of importance. I still like the naming it after people of importance, like Bree Cupoletti, and you know, maybe they should think about a John Bachman or something like that.
And of course, they're going to build a brand new press box, brand new media area for us to call the games from.
Absolutely.
I mean, I remember being up in that end telecast area over 40 years ago. I remember calling your name a few times. But I remember we used to always have fun because it was Reed Larson, and there was a Reed Larson playing for the Detroit Red Wings at the same time. Puck goes right through this slot. It's kept
well, they
in by
should
Sanborn.
name it the Bob Cohn Memorial, or at least name the press box after you.
Yep, 40-plus years of covering high school sports. Puck gets dumped all the way back into the Hibbing end, shot along the boards by Sanborn. Blue Jackets will break it out up to Edmonds. Matt Edmonds now into the attacking zone. Edmonds has Kemp with him and also Freider. Kemp will dump it in deep. Edmonds after it. He overskates it. Picked up by Seth Haber up the boards, and it's cleared, but quickly put back into the Virginia end. Kangas will drop the puck off for Matt Callister. Long pass up and off the stick.
We'll likely see a lot of ice time out of good old number 15 tonight for the Blue Devils. Ryan Scherf brings a lot of experience and a lot of speed to the front end for the Blue Devils. They've dealt with some injuries here and there. It's good to see. It's good to see that we've got the captain back out on the rink. Last time I was in the building anyways. Captain Dylan Drake was out with an injury.
Yes. In center ice, the puck now is grabbed by Lund. He could not get it into the zone, right at the blue line. Now Drake will come away with it. He'll fire it into the Hibbing end. Drew Kabina shoots it off the back wall. Tried to hit Westerberg. Shot taken, Vozdecki with a save. Comes back to the point. Here's Nemanich. That's going for a shot. It was deflected wide. Elijah Carlson now, and we've got a frozen puck right at the Hibbing net.
A couple of good chances there by the Blue Devils. Rudebush with the first shot on net. And a rebound just at the side of the net. Opportunities there just to the left of the Hibbing goal.
Puck is along the back wall. Rudebush will come away with it for the Blues. It's right on front. The shot goes over the top of the net by Ben Irvin. Irvin battles for the puck. He takes a check from Sanborn. Kreider battling along the back wall for the puck. Irvin also back there. Now Galley will grab the puck for the Blue Jackets. Gets it up to Edmonds. He gets bumped off the play. Back to the point. Nemanich will keep it in for Virginia. And finally Sanborn will grab it. Shoots it off the sideboards. It'll be kept in by Nemanich. His shot goes up over the top of the net. We've got a break in the action. 12:13 to go in the opening period. My 9 Sports from the Miners Memorial Building in Virginia.
I'm in carpentry. We do a lot of woodworking. Right now we're actually building a couple houses. I like the atmosphere. Like everybody around here, all the faculty, they really like to help out. My instructor, Leo Lucas, he's been in the field for at least 30 years or so. My goal with carpentry is to work for a larger company down in the cities. My name is Tyler Kemp, and this is my Mesabi story.
Face off in the Hibbing zone. Now Kabina shoots it off the boards. Comes up to Mitchell Zimba. Cross ice pass to Lund. Here's Zimba, and he could not load it up. Here's a shot taken just wide by Westerbrook. Check that by Lehman. Lehman will run it down in his own end for the Blue Jackets. Now Lund tries to get it up to Allison. Big check applied by Allison. And now here come the Blue Jackets back. Zimba tried to hit Allison off a skate back into neutral ice. It goes back into the Hibbing end, where Kabina now will shoot it in the center ice. Lund up to Zimba into the Blue Devil end. Loose puck is grabbed by Tiedemann, and he clears the zone for the Blue Devils. Tiedemann now will grab the loose puck in neutral ice for Virginia. Puts it into the Hibbing end. Races on. Here's Seth Haber, overskates it, takes a check, and Vozdecki comes out and covers up.
Boy, that looked like it was a little bit offsides. If you're a Blue Devil fan, you're probably not concerned about missing that one there, but almost had an opportunity off a debatable offside play. The Blue Devils taking over the majority of zone time at the moment. Both teams playing a little bit more of a passive game, a little more of a dump and chase type style.
Here's a shot taken by Jordan Mast, and Vozdecki with the save. Just unfortunate, the only thing at stake tonight is pride, where it's too bad this game doesn't have a lot of seeding importance like it really should.
No, it really should have a little bit more than that. You get into these last couple games, and it's a rivalry game. They're 30 miles apart. They battle for pride all year, or every single year, twice a year. But you really would like to see this game have an effect more on the seed.
Puck gets dropped to the near boards where Kabina tries to clear it out, but it's kept in by the Blue Devils. Now Haber takes that check. Mass picks up the loose puck for the Blue Devils. Tries to drop it for Haber. Battling for it was Frieder. Now the loose puck is picked up by Kabina up the boards, but again, Virginia will keep it in. Nemnich does the honor. Now Sandborn. 10:25 to go in our opening period. No score. Here comes Eric Sanborn into center ice, into the Virginia end, carrying the puck down left side. Gets bumped to the boards. A hard check by Tom Nemanich. Now in behind, next centering pass by Emmons. Noma there, and here come the Blue Devils back. Irvin into center ice. Irvin has Carlson on his left. Trailing in the play is Rudebush. Rudebush will pick up the puck. Comes on the side of the net. A shot was deflected. Must have hit the netting behind.
Yeah, it went off the goalie's shoulder. Rudebush tried a short side shot as he was coming hard to the net there. Just off of the goalie and up into the netting. The Devils still controlling zone time. This is not much of a puck possession hockey game. And what I mean by that is there's not a lot of carry the puck, make plays with the puck. It's more dump, chase, regroup.
Allison will get the puck up. Coming in is Lund. Lund back to Allison, and a save by Kangas. Oh, huge save. A good chance for the Blue Jackets.
Yeah, what a save when we get a chance to see that on the replay here in the next few minutes. We'll try to break that down a little bit more for you. There was a little bit of a turnover there at neutral ice that created a 2-on-1. Great chance for the Blue Jackets.
Zimba shoots it along the boards, up to Galley, off the boards. Allison tips it in the center ice. Allison after it. Allison now will control it. He's got Lund with him. Pass over. Oh, nice play by Tiedemann of the Blue Devils. Puck is right out in front of the net. Zimba took a whack at it. Now it comes to the near boards. 9 minutes to go in our opening period. No score in our hockey game. It's in behind the Virginia net. Lund tried to center it. Nice play again by Tiedemann of the Blue Devils. Tiedemann, a sophomore, doing a nice job back on the point, and now the Blue Devils will just clear it all the way back into the Hibbing end.
Wow, some great defensive play there by Tiedemann. The first on the 2-on-1 play there as well. The second, as Lund was trying to come from behind the net, Tiedemann poke checks, so he has no chance to come out in front to make a play. Two big plays to keep it at zeros.
Here's Zimba with the shot that was just wide. Casey Kemp now will control it. He'll get it back to the point to Galley, right towards the net. Now Frieder tried to control the puck along the backboards. Nemnich will pin him along the boards. Scherf comes away with it, shoots it the length of the ice. This will be icing on the Blue Devils. Let's go back now and let's see if we can see the replay on that good Hibbing chance.
Well, that was the latter part of the first opportunity right there, but you just saw a great 2-on-1 play to the net. Big save, the first save coming from Kangas on that play. The second 2-on-1 was a great play by Tiedemann.
Peterson off the boards, gets it into center ice, and it's quickly put back into the Virginia end. This is Nemanich. Up to Brendan Peterson. He'll clear the zone for the Blue Devils. Lehman will run it down in his own end. Trevor Lehman's long pass intercepted in center ice by Carlson. Now this is Frieder. He lost control of it. Edmonds after it for the Blue Jackets. Tipped away, and Rudebush in behind his net will control it for Virginia. Here comes Rudebush. Into center ice, flips it. It goes into the Hibbing end, where it's grabbed by Lehman. Clears the zone. Now Sandberg pass intercepted. Here's a shot from Irvin, and a save by Vozdecki. Almost a Hibbing turnover. Nearly cost him. It'll be kept in by Irvin. Cross ice to Nemanich. Here's a shot. It may have hit the crossbar.
That hit the goalie right in the head, Bob.
And the net comes up off the mooring. We're going to take a break. My 9 Sports continues from the minors.
Starkovich Distributing Company in Virginia has been a longtime Blue Devils sponsor on Channel 5 television sports and has been a big contributor to the economic climate on the Iron Range for over 70 years. call 741-9061 when you're looking for someone to supply your beverage needs.
Face-off won by the Blue Jackets. Shot along the boards up for Zimba. Deflected away from Irvin's centering pass. And now here come the Blue Jackets back. This is Ethan Lund into the attacking zone. Left side, Lund trying to hit Zimba in front. Just deflected away by one of the Blue Devils in front of it. Here comes Virginia back now. This is Rudebush into the zone. Tipped away from him. They battle. Carlson will control it. Comes right to the side of the net. Vozdecki will cover up.
Well, this is the line to keep an eye on when it comes to watching Hibbing Chisholm right now. With Lund, Allison, and Zimba. A couple of great chances there early on. Nice little shot to the net there by the Blue Devils. And he kind of took a last-second hit, turned into the boards. Just tweaked his shoulder a little bit, but he got up and he was just fine, Bob.
This is Westerberg up the boards. It'll be kept in by Tiedemann. Shot goes right on Vozdecki. And the foreign exchange student makes this glove save.
Well, lots of chances. The chances for the Hibbing Chisholm Blue Jackets have been more on the rush, Bob. It's been 2-on-1s, transition time for the Allison Zimba Lund line. More of the opportunities that Virginia has had has been on turnover and from forecheck in zone play. So both different styles that we're seeing here. Hibbing has actually done a fairly decent job of possessing the puck and making plays on the rush. Virginia has been a little bit more about getting it across the red line, getting a dump and change, or getting a dump and chase, or even a dump and trap. They've got one line that traps a little higher, and they've got another line that goes down a little bit more pressure, but still in kind of a 1-2-2.
Here come the Blue Devils, 2-on-1 break. Dillon gives it back to Peterson, and he shoots it high over the top of the net.
Well, just when I talk about the opportunities, Virginia gets one on the rush where Drake passes it over to Peterson, and Peterson sails it over the top of the net. It was almost a 3-on-1, Bob.
Sheriff will keep it in. Peterson tries to control the boards. Lehman will pin him against the corner. Now Sheriff tries to come away with it. Allison's all over him. Lund will pick up the puck, tries to get it up to Zimba, but it'll be kept on. We've got a delayed Virginia penalty coming. This is Kabina carrying the puck in the zone. He's got Lund in front. And now the Blue Devils will touch it.
Well, that's going to give Hibbing an opportunity on the power play here. It looked like interference, but there was a lot of aggressive play on that one. Obviously, Captain Ryan Scherf is a little bit upset about the call, giving him a piece of his mind. Referee Denny Gibbons, I know Denny very well, works over at in the school district with me in Grand Rapids. Denny Gibbons and Troy Scott wearing the stripes tonight.
And the line's manned by Vicky Fosslin.
Vicky Fosslin.
Interference is the call. Power play time for Hibbing. Reed on the power play. Hibbing 17%. Virginia 69% on the penalty kill. Picking up the puck is Lund. Allison behind the net. Right out in front, they tried to hit Frieder. Cleared, but not out. Is kept in by Zimba. Now to Allison, cross ice to Lund. His shot. Save, and the puck will clear the zone. Just over 4 minutes to play.
That's decent puck movement on the power play there for only having a 17% power play on the season. But from what I had a conversation with a friend of mine before the game, and he talked about how the progression of Hibbing has gone throughout the course of the year. You see 4 wins in the win column for them, but they've got a really difficult schedule. And the friend of mine has got family that lives in Hibbing and has talked about how this team has gotten better every single game and over the course of the last couple of weeks. has won some games and been in some games that were really close and beat some teams that they could really make waves if there were another week left in the season. Unfortunately, there isn't.
Here's a shot taken by Allen. Well, I saw him last week play against Evelyn Gilbert, and I was impressed with their 5-4 overtime victory that Thursday night.
That was one of them that we talked about, was that 5-4 overtime victory. And remember that Hibbing now was just placed at the 8th seed in the section. And we'll come back with that thought here after we get an opportunity to take a break.
Break in the action. My 9 Sports from Virginia continues in 30.
Wasabi Range College is, I think, the perfect college for traditional or non-traditional students. I came here to start my nursing career. I really like being able to work with people rather than being secluded. Being able to help people, heal them, that makes a difference, wearing your heart on your sleeve. My name is Becky, and this is my Wasabi story.
As the Blue Devils get the puck in his own, Irvin hits the metal.
Well, penalty time expired for the Blue Devils. Scherf was off to the races. Nice play by Ben Irvin right off the crossbar. And this game still stays tallied up at 0s.
Here comes Peyton Taylor. Now it's poke checked away back in the center ice, and quickly it's fired back into the Virginia end. 2:20 to play in our opening period. Tiedemann tries to get it up. Looks like a penalty coming. It should be an interference. It's going to be a Hibbing penalty for interference, and the Blue Devils are going to go on the power play.
They're going to talk about this first. They're going to talk about this. He didn't make a signal yet. He's calling it interference. He waited for a second, and I know what they're doing when they do that. Referee Troy Scott waited for a second, was going to think about talking to his partner. He didn't. That hit right there by the penalty box was an interference penalty, but what there could have been a little bit of an argument about was the fact that it was kind of high. He got him in the head a little bit. He probably thought, after thinking for a second, I'm going to wait. By the time he got to the penalty box to make the call, decided it was going to be interference.
So it's Eric Sanborn that goes off for the Blue Jackets. Virginia on the power play. Blue Jackets clear at the length of the ice. Now Tom Nemnage in his own end will set the offense. Power play for Virginia. Peterson will carry it into the attacking zone. Taking it into the corner. Now in behind the net, he comes to the near boards. Comes back to Tiedemann. He lets go of a wrist shot. Vozdecki clears it to the back wall. Picked up by Zimba. Here comes Mitch Zimba out of zone. He's got Lund on the left. Zimba now goes around the defense. Now stops in the circle. Lost control of the puck.
There's going to be a 5-on-3 opportunity here. Trip call. Virginia's going to go up 5-on-3 here for the last minute and 20 seconds of the period, and this gives a big advantage here going into, not only is it a 5-on-3, but it's the last 2 minutes of a period, so you get an opportunity to cash in 1, maybe 2 goals before you go in. That's really brings some energy into the second period.
Zimba will go in the box. Now 2 of the Hibbing players with C's on their jerseys, 2 of the captains will be in the box. Blue Devils.
Yeah, that stings when it comes to having the best players from your team sitting down in the penalty box, because they're likely 2 of their best penalty killers too.
comes back to the point. This is Nemanich to Rudabush. Tiedemann, let's go of his shot. Hit Allison in front. Tiedemann will try to keep it in, but it jumps out over the blue line. So Hibbing will get the Blue Devils back in their own end, regroup on this 5-on-3 advantage. Here's Scherf going in behind the Hibbing net. Final minute of the opening period. Cross ice, here's a shot by Peterson. Goal! Brendan Peterson from Ryan Scherf.
Well, there's one here. They're going to get a chance at tallying up another one before they go in to the locker room for a break. Ryan Scherf swings all the way around the net, throws the puck goal mouth all the way across to Brendan Peterson, and he bangs that in for a one-timer.
That's his 11th goal of the season, Reed.
11th goal of the season.
For the sophomore.
Ryan Scherf made that play, but you got to know where to stand if you're Brendan Peterson. He found the soft spot right in front there on the back door. But what a pass across the goal mouth from Ryan Scherf.
"16 seconds to go in our period." So again, it was Peterson from Scherf and Tiedemann. 6 seconds to go, and the Blue Devils are just going to hold on to the puck, and they'll start the second period with a 29-second man advantage. We've played 17 minutes. Virginia on top of Hibbing by a score of 1-0.
Starkovich Distributing Company in Virginia has been a longtime Blue Devils sponsor on Channel 5 television sports and has been a big contributor to the economic climate on the Iron Range for over 70 years. Call 741-9061 when you're looking for someone to supply your beverage needs. The P.S. Engman Agency is a family-owned business that has served the area with compassion and quality service for over 100 years. We are grateful for their fine support of Blue Devil Sports on Channel 5.
I'm in carpentry. We do a lot of woodworking. Right now we're actually building a couple houses. I like the atmosphere, like everybody around here, all the faculty, they really like to help out. My instructor, Leo Lucas, he's been in the field for at least 30 years or so. My goal with carpentry is to work for a larger company down in the cities. My name is Tyler Kemp and this is my Mesabi story.
I'm alongside head coach of the Virginia Blue Devils, Cale Finseth. Cale, 6-15-2 on the season so far. Talk about how the season has gone up to this point.
A lot of ups and downs, Reed. We've had a young group, and I've said that before. But again, as I said before on my 9 last time, is there's no excuses anymore. They've got a lot of ice time. We're coming together, and this is the time of year you want to start to play. So hopefully, we're moving upwards and into the playoffs. We play tonight. We play a good Hibbing team, a good test on Greenway on Thursday, and again Greenway on Tuesday. So we'll find out where we stand real quick.
Yeah, you took my next question right out of my mouth. You've got Hibbing tonight. You've got Greenway on Thursday. The seeding took place this morning, which is kind of weird. Typically, you want all games played, especially section games played before the meeting. But talk about how that meeting went. You ended up with the 6th seed. Talk about it.
I think that you summed it up well. Is that it was weird when you come into a room and the seeding's on a Tuesday night, and we play Hibbing, which could be a huge game. If seedings are Friday, they could have a repercussion on the seedings. And so we come into this game, and now, talking to the guys is we have 2 games to prepare ourselves for Greenway again. And so we're trying to fine tune our skills and for that playoff game, and we need to do that tonight, and we need to do that on Thursday.
Absolutely. It's obviously a big game tonight, and you mentioned it. It's roll into the next 2 games, get yourself ready to play for playoffs. Great mindset and a decent seed. Rock Ridge Wolverines coming up here in 21-22, it sounds like. Talk about the process of how that's gone, maybe some decisions made youth hockey-wise. Is there going to be 2 programs going through youth hockey? Is there going to be 1? We know one big one at high school.
Yeah, that conversation hasn't been had at the youth level that I'm aware of yet. The rollout of Rock Ridge, I thought, was done really well. It was done in an Evelyn game, big crowd, all the athletes there to participate in that the reveal, and I thought it went great, and the community was behind it, and they gave what the mascot was, the colors were, and it was actually a fun night to be involved in.
Yeah, sounds like very tastefully done on both sides of things. I know there's been talk about how they're going to do positions. That's all here forward in youth programs. A big question mark there as to whether or not you're going to be 2 or 1, but it sounds like a really interesting future.
It does, and they're going to be competitive. You take the best kids from Virginia, the best kids from Evelyn, and combine them into one squad. It's going to be some good hockey.
Oh, completely agree with you. I think that can compete with a lot of the big schools around the area, whether you're talking the Duluth East, the Grand Rapids. Cale, big game here tonight. Glad to be here.
Thank you. Thank you.
Officer.
Morning. How's it going today, ma'am?
I just want you to know, I love this city. I can always find a parking place, and I never have to parallel park. Look here, every car is bunched up over on that side of the street, so it makes it really easy for me to park. And what's so odd is that yesterday, every car was on that side of the street.
Well, ma'am.
Oh, just call me Yvette. And what was your name?
I'm Chad. It's nice to meet you, Yvette. Calendar parking is why all these cars are on this side of the street. Here in Virginia, we have calendar parking, so that way the cars are on the right side, so that way it makes it a little easier. So now, on an even day, you would park on the even side of the street as the addresses. So you see these house numbers over here all have even numbers. So on an even day, you park on that side. On an odd day, you would park on the same side of the street as the odd number houses. So during the winter months of November through April, we try to make sure that cars are parked on the even or odd side of the street, depending on the calendar day.
So you're going to give me a ticket? I thought you were so nice.
I am nice, and I'll tell you why I'm nice. Because the Virginia Police Department, when calendar parking is followed, it ensures that our city crews can get out and plow all the roadways after a major snow event. Also, it makes it a lot safer for all the pedestrians and all other traffic in the area. Besides that, many of the streets in Virginia are narrow, so when it comes to emergency vehicles getting through, it's nice to have all the vehicles parked on the right side of the roadways, so ambulances, fire trucks, squad cars, even just regular vehicles can get through.
I am so sorry. I didn't know.
Can I tell you something else?
Yes, I know. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
What I was going to say is actually during the summer months, calendar parking changes a little bit. We try to make it a little easier for everybody. So from the months of May through October, you only have to worry about switching sides every 2 weeks. So on the first of the month, you make sure that you park on the odd side of the street. And on the evening of the 16th, you swap over to the even side of the street for the rest of the month. And just one more thing.
Yes?
How about you move your vehicle to the proper side of the street and we'll call it even.
Oh, I could just hug you. Can I hug you?
No, ma'am. But you need to know that calendar parking always starts the previous evening. So at 6 p.m. the previous night, you always park for the very next day.
Call me Yvette.
Thank you, Yvette.
Welcome back to the Bree Coupolette Arena, the Miners Memorial Building in Virginia. My 9 Sports coverage of high school hockey, Section 7A style tonight. Hibbing in Virginia. After one period, Virginia on top of Hibbing by a score of 1-0. Brennan Peterson scoring his 11th goal of the season. It was a power play at 16:04. Ryan Scherf and Braden Tiedemann with the assist, making it 1-0. Saves in the opening period. Kangas in the Virginia Nets had 8. Vozdecki in the Hibbing Nets had 6. One penalty on Virginia for 2 minutes, 2 penalties on Hibbing for 4 minutes, and Virginia will have 29 seconds on the power play to start our period. Reed, you're going over some scores. It's a pretty light schedule in high school hockey tonight. Maybe you got some scores to report.
Yeah, I've last checked that we had with Grand Rapids and Cloquet at the midway point of the first period was 1-0 Grand Rapids on the road at CEC. Greenway over at the Snake Pit playing against Bemidji, and they've got, after the first period, a 2-0 lead.
Okay, other games tonight has Hermantown at Lakeville South. Northern Lakes is in Proctor tonight. Pine City is at the Heritage against Denfield, and Duluth East has crossed the bridge, and they are taking on Superior tonight. That's the schedule in high school hockey. Again, the seedings to start the Section 7A tournament on Saturday. 2 games. Hibbing, the number 8 seed, will host the North Shore. Proctor, number 7 seed, will host Ely. Then action goes to next Tuesday, the 18th. It'll be the Hibbing North Shore winner at Hermantown. I Falls will play in Evelyn. That's a 5 against a 4. Ely Proctor winner will be playing at Denfield. Denfield's the number 2, and Virginia, the number 3 seed, will travel to Greenway, the number 3 seed. So that's the upcoming playoffs in high school hockey.
Virginia will have back-to-back games against the Raiders, one at home Thursday night and one away at the Snake Pit.
Second period just underway. Blue Devils with just over 15 seconds to go on this power play. Comes Ryan Scherf, who got the assist on that Blue Devil goal, carries it into the zone. Then it's tapped away from him. Sandberg took a whack at it. Scherf now gains control of it. Nemnich will put it in deep. Scherf got knocked down. Could have been interference in front.
Well, I got a weird feeling you're not going to see a whole heck of a lot of calls this period, as I watched a small conversation between Coach Justin Tomerlin and Denny Gibbons, referee, and Troy Scott after the period. I know they were upset about the second call. I don't disagree with either of those calls. I think they're both penalties. I think the timing was not good, which I'm sure frustrates coaches. I've been there before.
Here's Zimba carrying it in behind the Virginia net. Zimba will control it once again along the near boards. Boy, nice work by Mitchell. Zimba's shot off a skate of Nemanja. It's in behind the Virginia net. Lund will get it back to the point. Sandberg. Now Allison tries to control it. That will not work. Here's a shot from Lund. A save by goaltender Kangas. Well, I want to send out a shout out to Monk Kramers, who is watching tonight. Monk has been going through some medical issues, can't get to the game in person, but we're glad we have him watching on My 9 tonight.
Well, God bless Monk, and prayers that you are feeling better. Got to throw a shout out to my folks down in Sun City, Arizona.
Sweet.
Snowbirding it, and they're watching the game from their living room in 75-degree weather at the moment. Yeah, We're going to hit 20 below tomorrow. I saw that on the forecast. So,
and a high of 5 below on Thursday.
And a high of 5 on Thursday. So thanks for sending me the text, and I hope you're enjoying your alma mater, Mom.
And where are we going on Thursday? Grand Rapids.
We are. Yep, we are.
So we're going to freeze.
Yeah, we'll be cold.
Puck gets dumped into the corner by Westerberg. Hibbing putting some pressure on in the Virginia end with just over 15 to play in our second period. Puck now will clear the zone. Lehman will run it down in his own end. 1-0 Virginia. Here's a bad play. Blue Devils intercept the puck. That was Hobb. And that did not click, and Allison coming back for the Blue Jackets. Allison's got Kemp trailing the play. Allison tried to go around Callister. Now Kemp try to control it. Here's Zimba. He tried to stuff it. Nice defensive play by Callister. Along the near boards. Picked up again by Zimba. Gives it to Allison. A little bit behind Joe. Zimba right out front. Lund took a whack at it. He's back to the point. A shot was just wide. That was by Kabina. Now Allison at the side of the net. Has it tapped away. And finally the Blue Devils will just clear it the length of the ice. They'll get a whistle. It'll be icing. Thursday night we'll be at the IRA Civic Center. It'll be nice to see Athletic Director Ann Campbell once again as the Grand Rapids Thunderhawks and the Hermantown Hawks close out the regular season. That's going to be a dandy. They played last month at Hermantown. They skated to an overtime draw.
Yeah, that's going to be a good hockey game, and both teams are playing phenomenal hockey at the moment. Of course, Hermantown is always pumping this time of year. They're ramping up. They got the #1 seed. They're smiling at their tickets to the X, but they still got to finish it with 3 wins after that. Grand Rapids sitting right now at the moment in the QRF rankings, which Section 7 AA uses for their seeding, at #2. With a win tonight, of course, that makes it even more sealed. But as far as I'm concerned, I feel like their fate is sealed at a 2 seed right now. Cloquet looking at a 5 seed, and that's who they're playing at the moment. They need to get a W and a little bit of help from some others to creep above Forest Lake, who's in 4, and Duluth East, who's in 3.
Oh, a bad play by the Blue Devil defense. It almost cost them. Kangas comes up with a save. Blue Devils nearly coughed it up in their own end. Puck's along the near board. Now Lamourier will just clear it out. It'll go to the length of the ice. After it is Irvin. His shot goes right on. Vostecki with the save. Check that was Drake who was streaking down. Now Zimba coming back. He's got Lund in the middle. He'll drop it for Lund. Lund, let's go have a shot. It was wide. Comes to the near boards, and Brendan Peterson will try to clear it. It's not out. The shot goes right on. Another save by Kangas. 13 minutes to play in our second period. Sheriff in behind the net. Off the glass. It'll go the length of the ice, and we'll have another Blue Devil icing.
Well, Hibbing really kind of taking control of the second period after they had the opportunity to kill off the final penalty of that 5-on-3. The 5-on-3 right away in the first period, they scored. Virginia scored on that first penalty. Second penalty carrying over to this period. They killed that off and have taken all momentum from that point forward with lots of good opportunities on net, lots of good zone time.
Comes right to the side of the head. A shot taken by Carlson. Saved by Vostecki. Here's another shot by Carlson. Another save by Vostecki. In behind the net. Blue Jackets finally will get it out of the slot area. Up into center ice. Into the Virginia end. Off Casey Kemp's stick. Kemp still battles for it. Now Frieder cross ice pass. Here's a shot deflected high over the top of the net by Kabina. Blue Devils having a little trouble coming out of that zone. Hibbing has really picked up the forecheck in this period, and now the puck is cleared out by Irvin. It's in behind the Blue Devil net. Up the boards, and Irvin will get it in the center ice for Virginia. Under 11:45 to play in our period. 1-0 in favor of Virginia. Now Scherf put it into the zone. Edmonds will clear it out. Allison will get it up to Lund. Here's Ethan Lund bumped off the play on a nice hard check. That was Tiedemann. Allison gives it back to Cabina, or check that, to a Zimba. Mitchell Zimba. Shot taken deflected along the backboards where Scherf will grab it for the Blue Devils. Avoids a check. Coming in after it is Lehman. Now Allison centering press, try to hit Zimba. Here come the Blue Devils now, 3-on-1. Here's Peterson. He's got Drake. Pass back to Drake and a nice defensive play by Drew Cabina. Zimba coming back for the Blue Jackets. Here is Zimba. Tries to get it back to Allison. Good defense by the Blue Devils. Shot taken, deflected, shot off Lehman.
With 3-on-1 opportunities, and that's probably the second or third 3-on-1 chance that Virginia's had tonight. One sailed over the net. That one didn't quite get a shot off. Great block shot by the defender from Hibbing.
Kemp with a centering pass. Scherf goes to the bench as he was injured, and we got an icing penalty, and we're going to have a timeout. Break in the action. My 9 Sports continues in 30 seconds from Virginia.
The P.S. Engman Agency is a family-owned business that has served the area with compassion and quality service for over 100 years. We are grateful for their fine support of Blue Devil Sports on Channel 5.
Tiedemann picks up the loose puck, carries him behind his net, has it tapped away by Matt Edmonds. Now we got another whistle. Reed, I just realized that both Seppulas are not playing tonight. Brady is out sick, and Raleigh Seppula got injured in the junior varsity game. So, boy, short a couple of defensive men, and Blue Devil coaches are going to have to make shift with the players they do have. They lost out on a couple extra guys there that could definitely help.
Not only are they short a couple of defensemen, but they're short some personalities too. Your little buddy from years ago that used to be sitting in my seat,
Raleigh.
Little Raleigh Seppula had a couple of games where he was sitting right next to you while I was standing across there where Coach Finseth is standing.
Yep, I still got pictures too. Here comes Ben Irvin back. It's bumped off the play on a nice hard check by Cabina. Centering pass. Just wide of the mark, and it's picked up by Lund. Gets it up to Zimba. Allison over on the left side. Allison shot and a save by Kangas. Good chance.
That was a great play and an even better save by Kangas. A nice pass.
Goal! Zimba from Lund.
And they finish it all up with some chances. And they stuck with it. Even after the play was saved on the first rush, they stick with it. Zimba gets the goal. Pass came from behind the net. That's a really difficult save to make for Ian Kangas. He can't see where that puck's coming from. He knows it's coming from behind the net, but he can't see. And a turnover behind the net there too.
I think they'll probably give Allison also an assist.
Well, that was just a battle behind the net there that was won by Lund. Lund wins the battle, wins the race to a loose puck behind the net, turns it over, throws it out front to Zimba, and he buries it. And like I was saying, that's a very difficult save for the goalie to make. Puck's behind the net.
Another goal!
Just like that play.
Same 3 players once again.
Well, the same 3 players and almost the same exact play coming from behind the net. It was another battle that was won by a forecheck behind the net, or a race that got won, and a little miscommunication by the Blue Devil defenseman as to who's got net front, and it's right back out in front. And that goes right up under the bar. And I think that was Allison, correct me if I'm wrong, that scored that one. Oh, it was Lund. Okay. Like we said, those are the 3 to watch. They're the ones that had the most chances for Hibbing Chisholm in the first period. And I guess if I'm assistant coach Evan Friedlieb and head coach Gail Finseth, I'm talking about our communication with the goaltender, our communication with my D partners, and effort behind the net is if we're going to win a race to a loose puck, we better make sure and get there and eliminate body behind the net. Both of those opportunities were won by Hibbing because first one because of effort. He outskated him to a loose puck. The second one was a battle, beat him to a loose puck again. Body right to the front of the net, puck right to the front of the net, and a goal.
Now we got a slashing penalty. Let's see who's coming to the box. It looks like it's Hibbing's Frieders coming to the box. So Virginia will go on a power play. Again, the Hibbing goal, 7:32. Zimba's 15th from Lund and Allison. 13 seconds later, Lund his 8th. Zimba and Allison with the assists. 2-1 Blue Jackets with 8:32 to go in our period. Now Virginia will go on the power play. This is Zimba just clearing it. Bouncing puck goes right on Kangas. Scherf in center ice. He'll drop it back to the point. Rudebush back to Scherf off his skate. Scherf has some trouble. Lund will come away with it. Here comes Lund. He's got Zimba with him. Pass goes to Zimba, taken away by Tiedemann. And now Virginia will have to reset on the power play. This is Peterson. Looks like Nemanich is hurt. Zimba try to control the puck. Picked up by Tiedemann. Off Scherf, goes to Peterson. Nice play by Lund as he tipped it away. Broke a stick. There's another $350. Here's Scherf trying to pass it in front. Deflected high in the air.
$350. Yeah, sometimes I got to wonder if I would be able to even afford to play hockey nowadays because sticks are so darn expensive. It's ridiculous.
Blue Jackets will clear it out. Nemanich in center ice. Tries to get all the Blue Devils back on side. Rudebush cross ice pass goes. Tiedemann puts it in deep. Now Haber taking a whack at it, try to control it. Zimba gets it up to Lund. Blue Jackets doing a great job on this penalty kill. 27 seconds remaining on the power play. Under 7 to go in our period. And it's dumped in. We've got a whistle. We're going to take a break. 6:46 to go. Break in the action. My 9 Sports from Virginia continues in 30.
Starkovich Distributing Company in Virginia has been a longtime Blue Devils sponsor on Channel 5 television sports and has been a big contributor to the economic climate on the Iron Range for over 70 years. Call 741-9061 when you're looking for someone to supply your beverage needs.
Edmonds will control it for the Blue Jackets. Couple seconds remaining on this power play. 6.5 to play in our second period. A good period of hockey for the Blue Jackets. They've scored twice and have taken a 2-1 lead on Virginia. This is Section 7A hockey. Deflected off Drake into the Hibbing end. Shot along the boards up to Edmonds. Now to Frieder. Cross ice pass went to go for Kemp. That did not click. Good defense by the Blue Devils. Off the boards. Edmonds will keep it in.
Good defensive play by Matt Callister. Lays down, similar to what we saw in the first period by Tiedemann. Lays down to take away that pass, and sometimes a little patience there by the forward pays off. You try to slide that a little too soon, a little bit more patience, he might be able to get it around him.
Kangas will drop it for Tiedemann. Hibbing on a line change up to Irvin. Ben gets bumped off the play, picked up by Rudebush. Blue Devils have to get players on side. This is Westerberg up the boards to Lund. Into the Virginia end, just tapped away from Allison. Boy, this first line of Hibbing is a good one. Zimba, Allison, and Lund. Here is Zimba, another save by Kangas, and the puck then just deflects wide.
Well, there
Boy, they
were
had
two
the corner.
saves there by Kangas on that play. Made the first save. A rebound was sitting there. He had to make a second save. And now the Devils are pinned in.
Here's another shot by Allison. Goes over the top of the net.
Yeah, Blue Devils got caught there for a second. I know there were a couple of players there. First time tonight that we saw Chase Powell out on the rink. Got stuck there with that first line out there a little bit later in their shift, but they still had some opportunities. That first line came to play from Hibbing this period. They were good the first period. They're even better this period right now.
Sandborg cross ice pass, and it's fired in by Lehman. Now Nemanich gets pinned along the backboards. That's Allison applying the pressure. Zimba will come away with it. Zimba tried to stuff it. Peterson took a whack at it and clears the zone. Now Drake by himself. Dylan Drake comes in the attacking zone all by himself. No help yet. Drake continues to work hard. I see Dylan Drake this past week signed his letter of intent to play football at Bemidji State.
He did, yeah. Seen that a little bit here in the offseason on Twitter that he had made that commitment to play there, but official signing day just in the last week, signed that letter of intent. Saw his football coaches there and his dad, who is one of the football coaches at Mountain Iron, with him as well, signing that letter of intent. Congratulations to Dylan Drake. Great kid. I loved coaching him 2 years ago.
Irvin continues to battle for a puck. Now Peterson picks up right to the slot area. And it's cleared away. Here come the Blue Jackets. Allison coming back. He puts it in right on goaltender Kangas again. Nemanich off the backboards to Lamourier. Blue Devils trying to break out and get something going here in the final 3.5 minutes. Trailing Hibbing 2-1. Here's a shot from Freider, is just wide. Rings around the boards. Jackets cannot keep it in. They have to tag up. There's a long pass up for Peterson. He'll break in. Now Rudebush will control it along the backboards. Freider takes it away. Centering pass, nobody home. It'll be picked up by Rudebush. Gets it back to the point. Kept in by Tiedemann. Here's Rudebush again. Gives it to Irvin. A shot. Saved by Vozdecki. Along the near board, or along the far boards there, right by the players' bench. And it jumps out of the blue line. Kangas now will, or check that, Callister will carry it back into his own end.
I was going to say, Kangas is one heck of a player if he can play goalie and defense at the same time, Bob. I'll be that guy. I'll be that guy to tease you a little bit. Everybody's allowed a mistake.
Oh, yeah.
You'll catch mine here in the next
No,
interview.
I won't. No.
You will, too.
Nope. I won't say nothing about it. Wait, right? Here's Brendan Peterson up. Check that. Seth Haber fired back in the Virginia end. Puck is right in center ice. Now it goes deep into the Hibbing end. That's Kabina. Up to Lund. Tried to give it to Allison. Be kept in by Mast. Now Zimba. Taken away by Callister, and he'll fire it in deep once again. Sandborg shoots it along the board. Right on front. Puck is still loose. Picked up by Allison.
Well, that's their rule as a coach. Is they're always telling players to stop in front of the net. The puck was sitting there. Don't peel away to the corner until you know the thing's covered.
Here comes Lund, and we've got a whistle. We've got an offside. We're going to take a break. 1:37 to play in the period. 2-1 in favor of Hibbing. Play continues in 30. officials just called coincidental minor penalties. Mass to Virginia, Zimba of Hibbing. So they'll skate 5 aside with 1:37 to play in our period.
Well, that was right in front of the benches before we went off to break, and I didn't catch it. I didn't catch what the penalty was for, so we'll keep our ears open for John Kempinen to give us the announcement. But they are replacing the face-off out to center ice. Well stated by head coach Cale Finseth of the Blue Devils. Made sure they knew that face-off was not supposed to be in his zone. So we'll wait for Johnny Football here down in the penalty box to call off exactly what it is these penalties were for. Or is he Johnny Hockey tonight?
He's Johnny Hockey tonight.
Okay.
Centering pass, nobody there. Oh, Drake scores! Dylan Drake ties it with 1:20 to play in the period.
We missed what the calls were for because Johnny Football was right in the middle of calling off what the penalties were for, but this was more exciting anyways. Puck was thrown in front of the net by Ryan Scherf. Comes around, beats the player behind the net, throws it out front to Dylan Drake, who gets one shot. Rebound was saved, and another shot and a goal, and that's Dylan Drake's 9th goal of the year.
Well, they gave Peterson also an assist. So we're deadlocked at 2 with 1:02 to play in our period, and we still didn't find out what the coincidental minors were.
Well, we'll do a little bit of investigation here before the period, or by the time we come back in the third period, to figure out exactly what that was for. I'm not sure if there was a little lip jacking that took place or some interfering when Jordan Mass was trying to go to the bench. That could have happened.
Now Sanborn will shoot along the boards, try to get up to Lund. It's intercepted by Lamorier to the Blue Devils. He shoots to the far side to Drake. Goes back to the point. Nemnitz lets go of his shot. It was just wide. Peterson tried to tip it. Here's a shot from Lamorier. Right on. Vostecki with a save. Puck is loose, coming away with it are the Blue Devils. Back to the point. Nebnich, cross ice for Lamorier. A shot, hit a Blue Jackets in front, and it's clear out of the zone. Now Tyler Morlier will put it back in again for Virginia. Allison with 25 seconds to go in the period. Shoots it the length of the ice. They wave off the icing. Into the corner, Freider tries to control it. Freider in behind the net. He goes down, no call at all. And the puck is just flipped into neutral ice. 7 seconds to go in the period. Comes into the Virginia end, 4 seconds. So it looks like the teams are going to go to the locker room, tied at 2, and we should have a very, very entertaining final 17 minutes of hockey. We'll take a break. When we come back, Reed will talk with Justin Tomlin, head coach of the Blue Jackets.
The P.S. Engman Agency is a family-owned business that has served the area with compassion and quality service for over 100 years. We are grateful for their fine support of Blue Devil Sports on Channel 5.
I didn't get my degree right out of high school, and I ended up getting married and having a few kids. My daughter, she was going through the college, she got her AA degree. She just kind of was like, hey Mom, you know, you can do it too. And the professors are really encouraging, everybody's just supportive. This May, I'm looking forward to graduation and walking with their support. My name is Desiree, and this is my Mesabi story.
With the support of many fine sponsors such as these over the years, Mesabi Community Television and Locker Talk have been able to continue expanding. With announcer Bob Cohn and cameramen like Darwin Aller, Javante George, and Justin Pullman, and with support from our program manager Lindsay George, in cooperation with Virginia's public schools and the City of Virginia, we've been able to keep upgrading. Currently, we can be seen live and via tape delay on Channel 5, YouTube, and Facebook. Mesabi Community Television will also continue to bring you sports from Mesabi East, Mountain Iron Buell, and Chisholm schools. Your mutual cooperation allows everyone to come out ahead.
Good morning, officer.
Morning. How's it going today, ma'am?
I just want you to know, I love this city. I can always find a parking place, and I never have to parallel park. Look here, every car is bunched up over on that side of the street, so it makes it really easy for me to park. And what's so odd is that yesterday, every car was on that side of the street.
Well, ma'am.
Oh, just call me Yvette. And what was your name?
I'm Chad. It's nice to meet you, Yvette. Calendar parking is why all these cars are on this side of the street. Here in Virginia, we have calendar parking, so that way the cars are on the right side, so that way it makes it a little easier. So now, on an even day, you would park on the even side of the street as the address is. So you see these house numbers over here all have even numbers. So on an even day, you park on that side. On an odd day, you would park on the same side of the street as the odd number houses. So during the winter months of November through April, we try to make sure that cars are parked on the even or odd side of the street, depending on the calendar day.
So you're going to give me a ticket? I thought you were so nice.
I am nice, and I'll tell you why I'm nice. Because the Virginia Police Department, when calendar parking is followed, it ensures that our city crews can get out and plow all the roadways after a major snow event. Also, it makes it a lot safer for all the pedestrians and all other traffic in the area. Besides that, many of the streets in Virginia are narrow, so when it comes to emergency vehicles getting through, it's nice to have all the vehicles parked on the right side of the roadways, so ambulances, fire trucks, squad cars, even just regular vehicles can get through.
I am so sorry. I didn't know.
Can I tell you something else?
Yes, I know. Ignorance of the law is no excuse.
What I was going to say is actually during the summer months, calendar parking changes a little bit. We try to make it a little easier for everybody. So from the months of May through October, you only have to worry about switching sides every 2 weeks. So on the first of the month, you make sure that you park on the odd side of the street. And on the evening of the 16th, you swap over to the even side of the street for the rest of the month. And just one more thing.
Yes?
How about you move your vehicle to the proper side of the street and we'll call it even.
Oh, I could just hug you. Can I hug you?
No, ma'am. But you need to know that calendar parking always starts the previous evening. So at 6 p.m. the previous night, you always park for the very next day.
Call me Yvette.
Thank you, Yvette.
visiting with Justin Tomerlin of the Hibbing Chisholm Blue Jackets. And Justin, a 14-20 season, maybe not the numbers that you're looking for, but talk a little bit about the season for me, if you would.
Well, you said 14-20. I wish it was 14-20.
4-20.
Well, you know, gosh, we're so close. Last year, I think we got running time somewhere like 14 to 16 times. This year, it's only happened 4 times. So we're a lot closer. We've had trouble closing out some of those close games, you know, a turnover here, a bad penalty there, and next thing you know, another loss. So there's been some growing pains, definitely, but we're growing.
Absolutely. You know, taking a look into tonight, this is your final regular season game of the season. Seating meetings took place this morning. It seems to me to be a little bit backwards as to when the seating takes place. Give me your opinion on that and talk about the seating.
Okay, I'll give you my opinion, and I'm going to be honest. I think it's a joke. Nobody knew why the meeting all of a sudden is today, you know, with a big game, a lot of big section games. Us in Virginia, also Virginia has a chance to play Greenway on Thursday.
Correct.
A lot of movement, and no one seems to know why the meeting was this morning, why it was in Proctor. It was all just kind of done behind the, behind a veil, and I'm not happy. I'm really not happy, and I know I sound like I'm sour grapes right now, and maybe I am, but I'm advocating for these kids that
Absolutely.
I love. You know, I go to work with them every day. I see how they battle late in the season against a team like Evelyn Gilbert when a lot of teams would have quit by now.
Correct.
And so I'm advocating for them. You know, I think my kids deserve better. My players deserve better. And I'm gonna defend them.
Yeah,
so.
Absolutely. You know, passionate coach, and we've always talked about that. Seating meeting usually takes place on Wednesday or Friday, maybe one game. Especially these section games are really important, Justin. So I feel your passion on that one there. Talk a little bit about how the seating's set up for you.
Well, you know, we got an 8 seed, so we're going to play North Shore at home Saturday, and it's tough to beat a team three times in a season, and that's what we're going to have to do, is beat them again, and then if we win that game, we go on to Hermantown. And it's going to take, if we get that far, it'll take a perfect game and a lot of good fortune, but no way I'm quitting on these guys.
Absolutely, Justin. Big game here tonight, regardless of the seeding being done already. It gives you some great momentum going into playoffs. Justin, always a pleasure talking with you. Good luck tonight.
Thank you, Reed. I appreciate it.
Good. Welcome back to the Miners Memorial Building. We've got 17 minutes of hockey remaining in tonight's Section 7 matchup featuring the Hibbing Blue Jackets and the Virginia Blue Devils. Each team with 2 goals so far in this hockey game. Penalties so far, Hibbing with 4 for 8 minutes. Virginia has 2 penalties for 4 minutes. Saves in the hockey game, Kangas in the Virginia Nets has made 18 saves in 2 periods. Vozdecki, netminder for Hibbing with 11 saves. Our goals so far, and we'll let you watch the replays at the end of our telecast. First period, we had a power play, 16:04, as Brendan Peterson gave Virginia 1-0 lead. Then Hibbing got 2 goals 13 seconds apart at 7:32, and at 7:45, Zimba scored his 15th. London Nelson got the assist. And then the goal 13 seconds later, Lund with his 8th goal, Zimba and Allison with the assist, giving Hibbing a 2-1 lead. And then at 15:40, Dylan Drake scored his 9th goal of the season. Peterson and Scherf with the assist. And we are deadlocked at 2 goals apiece. And Reed, a lot of pride at stake right now. They won't have any effect on the seeding. Hibbing will be hosting the North Shore. Virginia's going to go to Greenway. But I know these kids want to win this hockey game no matter what tonight.
Oh, for sure. I mean, we talked about it with Justin at the intermission break. He wants his team ready to rock and roll, come into that section play-in game against North Shore. He wants to be playing his best hockey. Virginia wants to come in with some momentum against the 3rd seed Greenway on Thursday, where they're going to get a chance to see them again the following Thursday in the quarterfinals. they want to be playing their best hockey, and I guess that's the thing that you can take away from all of this is that, you know what, in order to get to the XL Energy Center, you're going to have to beat everybody anyways in order to get there. That's 3 wins in a row so that you can be at the shiny lights underneath the big Jumbotron at the XL Energy Center. However, it is nice, though, to get that opportunity to have a home game at the quarterfinals and possibly get that extra rest.
Here comes London to the attacking zone. A save made. Allison gets right over to Frieder, and he could not pull the trigger.
Well, he looked like he was a little frustrated. That went right underneath his stick there by the front of the net. I saw that gentleman's head go back, and oh, son of a gun, I missed it.
Peterson gets the puck in neutral ice, and Callister will put it in the Hibbing zone. Now it's picked up by Lehman. Here comes Lund again in. Lund tried to drop it for Allison, a little bit behind Allison. Joe Allison in behind the net, battles for it. Scherf will come away with it, shoots it off the near boards. It'll be kept in deep by Eric Sandberg, right to the side of the net. Scherf again tries to control it. Taken away by Frieder. He has it poked away from him. And here come the Blue Devils. Here comes Drake by himself in the zone. Try to pass it, and it was off Cabina's skate. And the Blue Jackets will now control it.
Well, watch for the Zimba, Allison, and Lund line to log a lot of minutes here in this period for Hibbing Chisholm to give themselves a chance to take a lead in the third period. They did get a lead in the second. Virginia got it back tied it back up. So this game has gone both directions. Virginia's had a lead, then there's been a tie, then Hibbing's gotten the lead, and now it's tied back up at 2.
Ben Irvin coming in the zone. Now Rudebush picks up the puck. His shot. And a save by Vostecki. And we have the net coming up off the mooring.
So is that a good opportunity for me to throw out at a way to use your head, Vostecki?
Yeah.
He stuck his head right out there. The foreign exchange student between the pipes for Hibbing Chisholm. You say he's from the Czech Republic?
That's what someone said. Huh. He's a foreign exchange student from the Czech Republic.
Interesting.
Yep.
Well, he made the save with his head. In hockey terminology, that was a dome shot.
Now Zimba with the puck. He has a couple Blue Devils around him. Grabbed by Lund, gives it to Allison, back to Lund. Tapped away from Lund. Loose puck grabbed by Rudebush, gets it up to Irvin. Into the middle off the skate of Elijah Carlson. Sandberg took a whack at it, tried to clear it, and the Blue Jackets do clear it out. We're going to see how cautious these teams are going to be now for a while until they can maybe break someone.
Well, look for both teams, like you said, to kind of take their chances here and there.
Here comes Zimba, and there's the break. Zimba could not pull the trigger.
Boy.
Net comes off the
And
mooring.
just as we were talking, Zimba gets a breakaway. Little stretch the zone play there. You kind of saw that playing out as the regroup. The regroup right at about the dots into the Hibbing zone with the defenseman. Just took his time, and you knew what was coming. That Zimba was going to stretch and cut across. He hit him with a nice pass. Almost breakaway. Nice play and an even better defensive play by the Blue Devils to stop that.
Allison takes a check. Haber had the puck taken away from him. Allison in behind, gives it to Lund, left side. Now Allison in that left corner. Gives it back to Lund, in behind the Virginia net. Callister's all over him. Now Haber shoots it up the boards, try to hit Powell, but it'll be kept in by Sanborn, and now finally the Blue Devils do break out. Cross ice, a little bit behind Jordan Mast. Rings around the board. Chase Powell will keep it in for the Blue Devils. Now Mast try to center it off a skate, and it's up to Lund. Comes Lund with Zimba. Pass goes back to Zimba. It's taken away by Haber, and here come the Blue Devils back. Haber puts it in. The Blue Devils head to the bench. They'll change 4 of their skaters. Tiedemann will put it in deep for the Blue Devils. 13:20 to play. Regulation. 2-2, Hibbing and Virginia. Regular season finale for the Blue Jackets. Lamourier took a shot, deflected to the near boards. That's Edmonds, shoots it along. Galley took a bump. Now Cabina up to Edmonds, taken away. 13 minutes to play, regulation time. Blue Jackets pinned back in their own end. Now it clears into neutral ice where Tyler Lamourier will take it back into his own end. Up to Nemanich. Now we got a Virginia penalty coming.
Boarding. Call a boarding there, and that is
5
typically
minutes.
5 minutes when that happens. A boarding call, and Virginia now has their best player off the rink for the next 5 minutes.
Blue Jackets will have a golden opportunity to score 1, 2, or even 3 goals.
Yeah, like you said, Bob, they can score as many as possible in the course of 5 minutes. They don't get their player back if a goal is scored on a penalty kill.
Here's Zimba. Shot towards the net, deflected in front. Kangas is down. Puck is in the corner. It's in behind to Freider. Comes back to Allison. Freider in behind the Blue Devil net, a little too far. Now Sanborn. This is Lund, Zimba. 2-2 hockey game. Power play for the Blue Jackets. Zimba a little bit behind Lund. In the corner, Sanborn. Now a little too far for Freider. Although he'll run it down, gives it back to Allison. Cross ice for Lund. Shot right on, deflected. Right out front, the shot just missed. Now Sanborn will control it. Gives it to Freider. Back to Sanborn. Right side, comes back to the point. Zimba walking in, shot deflected. Goes to the near side. Now Lund puts a shot. Hit Allison.
Hit iron right there. That hit pipe on that. Lots of good chances here on this power play for the Blue Jackets.
Cleared all the way down into the Hibbing zone. There's his Drake, comes away with the puck. Will be kept in by Callister, shot right on. Save made by Vozdecki.
Well, that was a bullet. Callister fired that, and Vozdecki made the save. But as he was trying to lay the puck out there, bobbled it. It almost dropped between his legs.
Again, Virginia just fires it in.
Well, almost 2 minutes ticked down here on that power play. And that's almost 2 full minutes with the first power play unit. If I'm Hibbing, I'm taking these guys off for 30 seconds and getting them back out there again if they want an opportunity to score on this.
Freider gives it to Allison. Now Sanborn. Back to Allison in that corner. Carries it in behind the net. Try to send it right over front. Here's a shot from Sanborn, was just wide. Callister took a whack at it. Allison will keep it in deep for the Blue Jackets. Comes right to the slot area. Now Lund will pick up. 10.5 to play. Shot was just wide. Rings around the boards. Simba will keep it in for the Blue Jackets. Under 2.5 to go on this 5-on-4 advantage. Blue Jackets will have to reset back in their own end. 10 minutes to go in our period. Here's Lund coming in. Stops on the left side, circle area, gets it back to Simba. Shot goes on, deflected. Now Sanborn again brings it back out wide.
Well, this is a long power play with no whistles here, and we'll get a chance to take a break as soon as we get an opportunity to here, but a great job by Virginia to kill this penalty off. Not only that, but keeping that first unit out there for this long. They're going to be gassed.
Puck gets dropped back to Allison. Shot goes right on, and a save made. We'll take a break. 9:22 to go. This is My 9 Sports from Virginia.
I'm in carpentry. We do a lot of woodworking. Right now we're actually building a couple houses. I like the atmosphere, like everybody around here, all the faculty, they really like to help out. My instructor, Leo Lucas, he's been in the field for at least 30 years or so. My goal with carpentry is to work for a larger company down in the city. My name is Tyler Kemp, and this is my Mesabi story.
Well, the Blue Jackets just took a timeout. 1:37 to go on this power play. 9:22 to go in our hockey game. Reed, I think it's a good timeout as Coach Tomlin wants to rest that first unit and get them back on again.
Yeah, it's a good timeout to take right now. I'm sure he didn't want to have to take it at the moment, but, you know, he got pinned out there with his first power play unit for 3.5 minutes. I mean, that's a long period of time for Zimba and Allison and Lund to be out on the rink. And he wants to get him back out there for the last minute and a half. I mean, that's his best opportunity to take the lead on this power play. Maybe he can score 2 in a minute and a half. Decent decision. I'm sure he didn't want to have to use it at this point in time, but you know what? There's 9.5 minutes left in the game here. You need to take a lead right now. And good decision by Coach Tomlin to take that timeout.
Hibbing controls the puck after the timeout. Along the boards. This is Allison. Gets it back to Cabina. Back to Allison again. To Lund, a shot deflected up into the netting.
Well, that was a great opportunity for Lund on that one. He waited just a little too long. He wanted to load that puck up. He wanted to make sure he got it upstairs on Kangas. A little too long, and the stick of the defenseman close by got right on it.
Allison wins the draw. It comes back to Zimba. Now to Cabina. That's Frieder. Back to Cabina again. Frieder again. Boy, Allison got knocked down in front. And Peterson will clear it.
Well, I would think Coach Tomlin has a really good argument to call, to bark at the referee on that. Maybe missed a cross check there by Lamourier in front of the net there to his forward in front. That would have been their chance to have a 5-on-3.
Here's Frieder getting back to Zimba. Now to Frieder again. In behind to Allison. Just over 8 minutes to play. 30 seconds remaining on this man advantage for the Blue Jackets. Here's Lund again. Frieder try to go back to Lund. Shot goes right on. Kangas at the side of the net clears it to the back wall. Now Nemanich gets it up, and Drake tries to clear it, but it'll be kept in by Allison. Deflected. Comes to the near boards. Nemanich taking a whack at it. They're trying to clear it out of the zone. The Blue Jackets will keep it in. Seconds remaining on this power play. Shot taken by Zimbo's just wide. Now both teams are skating 5 aside as the puck gets cleared all the way down the Hibbing end, and Lund will clear it back into neutral ice. Now Allison will pick up the puck by himself, and it's tipped away. Nice play by Callister. I think Callister's really played a solid game tonight for Virginia.
Yeah, he has. And there's been a number of defensemen that have played really well here tonight. Younger players like Callister, as well as guys like Lamourier and Tiedemann. Younger guys have played very well in this game for Coach Finseth and the Blue Devils.
Just over 7 minutes to play. 2-2 hockey game. Hibbing in Virginia, Section 7, Iron Range Conference. Boy, there was the player got knocked down. That could have been an interference call very easily, or a cross check.
It's actually been a very well refereed game. That might have been one that was missed, but I thought all calls that they've made in this game have been fairly good. Denny Gibbons with the stripes, as well as Troy Scott and Vicky Foslin on the lines.
Shot deflected by the goaltender to the near wall. It'll be cleared out by Edmonds of the Blue Jackets. Right in front of the scorer's table, Edmonds battling for the puck. Again, it's right in front of Johnny Hockey in front. And now here comes Edmonds deflected.
I thought it was Johnny Football. Bob.
Irvin picks up the puck. Now Carlson of the Blue Devils. Pass comes back to the point, jumps out over the blue line. Tiedemann will carry it back into his own end. Here comes the sophomore into the Blue Jacket zone, fires it high over the top of the net, off the back glass. Scherf took a whack at it. Peterson and Allison are battling in the corner. Comes up to Lund. Off a skate. Virginia will keep it in the Hibbing zone. And finally Lund in neutral ice. Off a skate's picked up by Allison. Here come the Blue Jackets. Allison with the puck. Trying to go around the defense. And deflected away by Tyler Lemorlier with a nice defensive play. 5:40 to play in regulation. 2-2 hockey game.
Boy, wouldn't this just be interesting to put it towards the rest of the section here today? With no one's going to like a tie, but that really would be the message to send to the section where this game ends in a tie. Like, you know what, we're going to tell you, since you guys had the seeding meeting early, we're going to tie this game.
Here's a long pass too far for Peterson. It goes the length of the ice. They'll wave off the icing. Now Cabina will grab the puck. Up to Lund. Here come the Blue Jackets. Zimba will control it back to Lund. Right in front of Allison. And the goaltender Kangas will make a save. Breaking the action. 5:03 to play in regulation. My 9 Sports continues in 30 seconds.
Mesabi Range College is, I think, the perfect college for traditional or non-traditional students. I came here to start my nursing career. I really like being able to work with people rather than being secluded. Being able to help people, heal them, that makes a difference, wearing your heart on your sleeve. My name is Becky, and this is my Mesabi story.
As we come back to action, the Blue Devils will ice the puck and we'll have a face-off back in the Virginia end. And again, you hate to have face-offs in your defensive zone.
Yeah, at this point in the game, you want to try to eliminate the amount of time that the other team spends in your zone, and that's one way to give them a free try is ice the puck. But then again, as a coach, sometimes when you get yourself into trouble, get rid of it, get it down the ice. So there's two sides to that coin, Bob. We talk about that quite often. Coach Hajduk and I do it with the girls. That, you know, if you're in trouble, we're going to take a face-off in our own end versus trying to battle, and struggle to get the puck out of the zone or turn it over for a free shot. Get rid of it. Take the face-off. We like our face-off people.
Carlson along the near boards. Gets it in deep to Ben Irvin. Right to the side and then to Rudebush. And now Freider picks up the puck. It'll be kept in by Callister of the Blue Devils. Blue Jackets trying to clear it out. And they find a long pass up for Freider. By himself, Freider gets bumped off the play by Callister again. Up the boards to Rudebush. Now it's taken away by Edmonds. His shot was deflected wide. Freider at the side of the net. Kangas with a save. Here's another shot. Take another save by Kangas, and he'll cover up. 3:46 to go. Let's take another break. 2-2 hockey game. My 9 Sports from Virginia. Back to action. Hibbing controls the face-off. Coming up on 3.5 minutes remaining in regulation time. Now Lemorlier will grab the puck. Up to Peterson. Off a skate. Stays in the Virginia zone. And now here comes Scherf attacking. And offside is called. Oh, man. It's a pretty close call there, Reed.
Yeah, it was a close one. I'm not sure exactly if it was the wrong one, but it was a close one. And either way, there'll be a conversation, or at least a happy grin from Coach Finseth to referee Troy Scott.
Puck is picked up by Lemorlier, and he'll put it in. Now Cabina gets it up to Zimba, to Allison. Here come the Blue Jackets, 2-on-2. Pass gets dropped back for Lund. right out in front, and it's cleared away from the slot area by Lamourier. Offside Virginia. They get the whistle, and the face-off will come outside the Hibbing blue line. 2:49 to play in regulation.
Well, that was clearly an offsides there, but we didn't. That was a whistle, but I barely heard it. So well, sometimes I like to say, blow that whistle with some conviction, young man.
Puck gets shot into the Virginia zone, just wide of Kangas. Lamourier in behind his net. Now shoots it back to the far side for Nemanich. Got there just ahead of Lund. Oh boy, bad clearing pass by the Blue Devils. And boy, they were lucky that time. Not a good play by that wing on that side.
A little turnover on the side over there. And sometimes the best bet is just, if you don't have good control or good direction of that puck, is just to eat it there so that you don't turn it over to the middle of the ice.
How do you eat a puck sometimes?
You know what? It's terminology that only you could only learn if you listen to Spit and Chicklets. That's a podcast, by the way. I think most people know what that is, that are hockey people.
Blue Devils trying to clear it out of the zone. It'll be kept in. Here's Cabina walking in. Shot was just wide. Edmonds tries to center it. And now Irvin of the Blue Devils carries it into center ice. He takes a check. Carlson will put it in. Coming up on 2 minutes to go in regulation. A 2-2 hockey game. It was 1-0 Virginia after 1, 2-2 after 2, and so far neither team has been able to put the puck in this third period in the net. Now Freider coming back. Freider gets it to Kemp.
It's been a great battle this period, Bob. It's exactly the type of hockey game we expected from both of these teams. Hard fought all the way to the last minute and a half of the game. I'm not going to talk about what it could end up being, but it's starting to look that way. I know sometimes funny joke, but sometimes we don't like to use the word overtime, but it looks like it's coming.
Nemanich shoots it up the boards, try to hit the Scherf. That did not click. Allison will control the puck. Now Zimbo will take it in behind the Virginia centering pass. Nobody there. Comes back to the point. A shot taken, and here comes Drake breaking away. Here comes Dylan Drake in. His shot. Goal! Dylan Drake scores.
Well, there you have it. Sometimes you eat crow, and that's what I'm going to do at the moment. I said the magic word. Overtime was the magic word, and Dylan Drake says, "Nuh-uh, no way, no overtime. I want to bury this thing." Great race to a loose puck. Dylan Drake, the captain, and Bemidji State University football commit, buries it right over to the right shoulder. The goaltender for Hibbing, and we've got a 1-goal lead for the Blue Devils with a minute remaining.
Well, watch that Hibbing net to see when they're going to pull Vozdecki. Here comes Zimba. Gives it to Lund. Shot. Oh, a glove save by Ian Kangas.
Well, goaltender just came out of the net there, and of course, Coach Tomerlin does not have a timeout remaining as he burned that on the halfway through the 5-minute major. And right now, Coach Finseth is going to call his timeout.
Timeout, Virginia, with 49.2 seconds remaining in our hockey game. Again, we'll have a complete wrap-up during our post-game show. We'll run down all the goals. It was an unassisted goal for Drake. That's his second one of the night, his 9th and 10th of the season. And he's probably been the hottest player on this Blue Devil team in the last half of the season.
Well, he's just fun to watch. You know, it's a guy that his motor is always going. And I remember watching him back when he played Bantams, but he was used to taking 25 30-second shifts because he just goes so stinking hard. And he's such a big dude that he gets gas so quick. Well, he's obviously worked his fitness level up to the point where he can get longer shifts, but his feet still get going. I mean, he's still moving his feet. He's still working hard. He created that turnover by himself by getting his stick in the middle of a pass, got the puck out into neutral ice, and created a breakaway for himself. Wins a race to a loose puck, and there you have it. Blue Devils are smiling right now with 49 seconds, but mind you, the Blue Jackets have a face-off in the offensive zone to the right of Ian Kangas. And, of course, their top line was Zimba Allison.
Lund picks up the puck. His shot was deflected. Now Frieder tries to control it. Boy, 3 Blue Jackets in there battling. Lund, Allison tries to come away. Here's Lund coming away with it. Cross-ice pass to Sanborn. In behind the net for Allison. Scherf will try to tie up the puck against the backboards. 25 seconds to go. Scherf just continues to work hard to tie it along with Lamourier. Allison tries to come away with the puck. Now it's controlled by Lund. Side. Cross ice goes. Here's a shot taken by Sanborn just wide. 10 seconds to go. Lund right out in front. Simba takes a shot. In behind the net. Lund tries to control it. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2, 1. Our hockey game is over. And Virginia defeats Hibbing during the regular season finale for the Blue Jackets by a final score of 3-2. And
well, that was an exciting finish to a hockey game. Little extracurricular as they had somebody coming flying into behind the net. I don't think it was intentional. Somebody got hit with 0 seconds left on the clock. It looked like it could have been from behind, but at any rate, what an exciting finish to a hockey game. I thought with a minute and a half left was going to go into overtime.
You're wrong.
I am wrong.
We'll take a break. We'll come back in a couple of minutes and we'll recap tonight's hockey game. Once again, the final score, Virginia 3 and Hibbing 2. And welcome back to the Couplet Arena, the Miners Maury building. I'm Bob Cohn with Reed Larson, and crowd making their way out. They just saw a very exciting hockey game. Virginia defeats Hibbing by a final score of 3-2. Virginia now with 1 game remaining. They are now 7-15-2. Hibbing finishes the regular season with 4 wins and 21 losses. Before we get to the highlights and Reed's final thoughts, a couple other statistics. Ian Kangas tonight had 29 saves for the Blue Devils, while Vozdecki in the nets for Hibbing had 15 saves. Virginia took 3 penalties for 9 minutes and Hibbing 4 penalties for 8 minutes. Let's take a look now at the 5 goals in tonight's hockey game. Blue Devils got a power play to start off tonight's hockey game in the first period.
A great play on the power play by Ryan Scherf, just to throw it cross ice to Brendan Peterson, finds him on the back door. Great goal mouth pass on a shot goal. That was 1-0. Virginia.
Then Hibbing gets 2 goals 13 seconds apart. Let's take a look at the first one at 7:32.
Almost identical goals here, but this was the first one passed from behind the net. Buried it right there to get that tied up at 1, and shortly after, we see almost the same play, except 2 different guys and a pass from behind the net. Right out front, that one went under the crossbar, and that gave Hibbing a 2-1 lead.
Zimba, it was his 15th goal. Lund scored his 8th goal. Then it was Dylan Drake scoring the final 2 goals of the night. 15:40 of the second period. Here comes Drake tying the hockey game with his 9th goal.
Well, Drake just finds his own rebound there in front of the net. Great pass out to the front of the net by Ryan Scherf, but he gets a shot in his own rebound and a goal to tie it up 2-2.
And here's the big highlight then, the game winner by number 21.
Well, Dylan created this play all by himself. He goes out there, pressures hard, wins a race to a loose puck, finds the upper corner, and that is their captain who seals the deal here for the Blue Devils. They solidify that 6th seed. Even though the seed was done this morning, at least they proved that they were the 6th seed in front of Hibbing.
Quickly, just your thoughts before we wrap up, Reed.
Well, I think this is always a great rivalry game here. It's tough to win in this building when you're coming in on the road. Hibbing always has a difficult time playing in this building, but you know what? Battle of 2 teams that had something to prove here going into playoffs. It was a great hockey game between 2 teams that are very prideful and ready to rock and roll. Virginia is going to be up against Thursday night up against Greenway. Hibbing's done with the regular season, but ramping up for next Tuesday to play North Shore in their play-in game. So both teams getting ready to go into their postseason.
We'll have our final My 9 telecast on Thursday night as Reed and I will be calling the Hermantown at Grand Rapids hockey game from the IRA Civic Center. That'll be a 7 o'clock start on Thursday night, February the 13th. Well, that'll do it from the Miners Memorial Building for the entire Mesabi Community Television production crew. Darwin Aller, who was on our main camera, Giovanni George, who was on our left camera, Rod Lundstrom, who was up in the top of the press box over on the far side. We also want to thank our two producers, John back at KBGR and Terry Hardica, the executive director and producer of Mesabi Community Television. Along with Reed Larson, I'm Bob Cohn. Once again, with our final score tonight, it was Virginia 3 and Hibbing 2. Good night, everyone.